We gotta get back into this.
Oh boy. It's the 5 on 5 podcast presented to you by directmusicservice.com. Direct Music Service place to get all your edits. Use promo code 5 on 5 FIVEONFIVE. And Trav, if they're on YouTube, tell them where they can find us.
If you're on YouTube, go ahead and find us at 5 on 5, the number 5 on the number 5. And go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe, and ding the bell every time we drop a video.
Smooth, quick, furious, and fast. It's the NAMM recap episode. It's just the
It
boys.
is.
We have myself, Phenom, down the street from me. My man Nick Lopez down the street from him, Jupiter Williams. I switch it up now.
You do.
Now that I changed neighborhoods, I have to start with a different order.
Down the street from
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, down the street from
Yeah, you go down the street and then back up.
Yeah, around
Up
the
the
horn.
street from him.
Yeah.
Up the street from him. Round the bend. No, we survived NAMM.
We did.
We survived. We have so much to talk about.
We survived
so much to talk
the social networking of NAMM.
Neek barely made it out.
Neek
We're
Bear.
gonna call it as it is.
Neek was
skin of his teeth.
Oh man. I realize we do a podcast. I haven't been around that many people that I've already spoke to but haven't met.
Right.
I haven't been in that sort of a situation in a very long time.
It was a lot of good to see you. Good to see you. Good
It
to see you.
was.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Neek
Neek
turned
had
into
both his
Jaden
hands
Smith.
out. At one point, Neek had both of his hands out, shaking people with
Shaking
both
two hands at once.
Yeah. Hey, how are you? How are you?
Hey, how are you? How are you?
Yeah, I'm glad to meet you. We pulled in from Vegas. We pulled in Wednesday night for the pre-party at Beat Source. That was just like DJTwitter.com.
Yeah.
Too many DJs.
There's a
Not
lot of
to be
DJs.
confused
It
with
was
too
just a
many
small
DJs.
room. It was a small room. Small room, and it was hot. So
AC was off.
that intensified everything.
Was that on purpose? Maybe.
Might have been. We ran the
I
fuck
don't
out of
know.
there.
They said they bought those fans for that reason, like for this event. So I'm like, do they just not have AC? Or it's just,
I don't think
I
they
think
had
it's
AC.
one of those things like that many people, like there's not enough, like it's going to get hot
It
in
was
a
hella
space. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think like the air is going to circulate enough regardless.
hella
Needless to say, shout out B Source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible fucking event.
So
shout
much
out.
The AC. I don't know why we're talking about that, but
Shout out B Source. Shout out Violate. Shout out Mojax. Shout out everybody over there.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us come through.
Greeted from the incredible Dazzler, who I
Yes.
can't wait to have on the podcast. It's so funny because we never get to do a step and repeat as the boys.
Oh, she threw us in there real quick.
We're never taking the picture, but it's so cool. That's how we walked in. We get our picture taken. You feel like you're worth something when you come on in.
was that a mixer?
It was a mixer.
Was that a mixer?
It was a mixer.
That was a proper mixer.
It was
proper
a mixer.
mixer.
It was a good mixer.
I have to commend Beat Source before we get into the whole NAMM weekend. They had Celsius on deck. They really knew.
They
their
sure
crowd.
did.
They really game changer. They had
Man.
pizza,
And
Celsius,
Capri Sun.
Capri Sun,
Free Sun
snacks.
Classic.
Yes.
Whoever did that, they knew what they were doing.
Really knew what they were doing. The party planning committee was.
They knew their audience.
It was
Was
very.
there ice cream? Was the ice cream social?
Might have been.
I
Ice cream.
don't know if there was ice cream. I did not open the freezer.
Yeah,
Could you imagine? That would have been just the bee's knees.
just a little scoop while you're
We
hanging
did, we
out.
did miss out on the group photo though.
We did.
Yeah, we took off.
We were out of there a little early.
We took off.
No, we
well,
weren't
I-
out of there early. We were there.
We
for a while.
we were there. We were there,
We were there
for
for
a
a
long time,
while.
actually.
We were just outside getting some fresh air because it was hot.
Yeah.
And instead of going back up to say goodbye, which is
The Irish
because I
goodbye.
feel like the group picture happened like an hour or two after we left because it went on pretty
It
long.
might have been. But we
I
kind
think
of
we were
Irish
just
goodbye
early.
though.
We kind of
Yeah.
Irish. Well, we were gonna see everybody tomorrow or the next day.
It's true.
It was the kind of thing where you said hey to everyone that was going to say hi to you. If there was somebody that was going to say hi to us, they already did.
Yes.
We spent most of the time with Warren and Drew Pierce and MOS. Shout out to MOS.
Shout out
We got to
MOS.
catch MOS that night at the Dime.
Was
Just
put on a
wrecking crew.
just with ease too.
Oh, we hung out with
Like
Spider
he,
a
like
lot
he
too.
didn't even know it.
We hung out with Spider.
And then Spider telling amazing stories outside while we taking a smoke break with Nick Spinelli. Oh, great stories.
And a guy got thrown out. A guy took his shirt off.
And we watched the guy get thrown out.
The guy took his blouse off and got tossed out, huh?
Talking in tongues at the security guard.
Just out there speaking gobbledygook.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Nick and I didn't see any of that. We were
Yeah, you guys didn't even see it.
just
That's
listening
crazy.
to music and sipping ginger beer or
There
something.
you go.
Yeah, we were in there catching a vibe. MOS's set was cool as hell.
Cool,
MOS
bro.
is the man. You know, I would suggest if you're just now tuning into this, go back and listen to our episode with him.
Yeah.
Grammy walkway, Grammy photo, Grammy DJ, MOS.
Yes.
Nothing cooler. There's nothing cooler.
No,
There's
And,
nothing
you know,
really. That guy's the coolest.
Trav brought up we got to hang out with Mojax. No one cooler. No one cooler.
Cool dude.
The coolest.
The coolest. Green Velvet Mojax.
Yeah.
Just a little
Oh yeah, skinny mohawk dyed green velvet Mojax.
wild.
Yeah.
Wild. The man looks incredible.
Yeah.
Mojax was on his game, and we have a bunch of interviews that you're going to see popping up over on the Instagram. 5 on 5 pod over there.
Mhm.
Is it 5 on 5 pod or 5 on 5 podcast?
I think it's 5 on 5 pod on Instagram.
5 on 5 pod. Yeah.
It's 505 Pod on Instagram, and then Jupiter Williams on TikTok, because I'll be dropping a
Jupiter
bunch
Williams
of
on
clips.
TikTok.
I'll
We
be
don't have a
dropping a whole
TikTok.
bunch of
We
clips.
use
The
Jupiter
rare
Williams.
self-
Jupiter Williams TikTok.
Yeah.
Also, while you're there, check out Nothing But Vinyl, my TikTok
There you
account
go.
where I only post vinyl.
No, hey,
records.
you'll be tagged.
And
The
Neek's
boys are going to be
account-
tagged in all of them.
Nick's account with 10,000 plus followers.
Right.
So, I tell Nick, I'm like, all right, you should really get a TikTok. And then he does it better than anyone else.
Anyway.
I'm like, all right.
I have no idea
doesn't
what
even
that's
show
all
his
about. That's a
face.
whole other conversation. People are sending me records now. It's crazy over there. I haven't
Nick,
posted
like,
in months.
Effortlessly 10K on TikTok.
Yeah.
And
I wish
it's
it
like,
worked on platforms that I cared about.
Not something that's going to be banned in a couple
I don't
months.
even. I
Right.
still don't even know how to use TikTok.
Nobody does.
They haven't heard from you in a long time, and they're just on the edge of their seat waiting for the return.
Yeah.
Waiting for the prodigal son to come back and just give us
that
a little
hand to come
crow.
in.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, I just see my hand.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna see a bunch of TikToks from Neek next week. Now that we're talking about this, it's gonna be like,
Oh, yeah.
bam,
No,
bam,
100%.
bam, bam.
Starting today.
Starting today.
Starting today, because I heard somebody went on a dig, though.
Oh man, so the LA digs were nuts. We'll start there.
Do we start with a number? Do we start with a number? Do we go over, under?
Over under.
Yeah, so
Records
you
or
guys-
money.
Let's go.
Dollar amount?
So-
Jesus.
So the question will be for me, actually, because I wasn't there for the dig, right? So do the dollar amount and then do the record amount.
Well, you were at the Maritime.
I was,
Well, he's
but
talking
I'm
about
tying
yesterday.
a lot of them all in.
Okay, we're
We're talking
talking.
about it yesterday. So yesterday, we'll say Neek dropped a DJ's salary for the night. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay,
How about
Yeah.
I
that?
think I have a good idea of what that is.
I think that's good.
And it's not no $50 plus 2 drink tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't that opening set?
No, it wasn't that.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that
paid in
that
exposure.
local festival set.
Yeah.
Hey, my man, let me get these records for exposure.
Yeah.
Here it is, 100 of exposure. No, ours. I don't even want to say the names of the spots we went to. We're just going to kind of keep it open ended and mysterious because
Yeah,
These
I don't want
stores are
people blowing
picked.
up our spots.
these stores are picked.
That's fair.
We got tipped off in LA from guest of the pod, friend of the pod, Steve Wonder, and Morse Code,
Mm-hmm.
and they said you should go to blank. It's the hot new spot. They have mostly 12s. There's a lot of disco, there's a lot of funk and soul. They're playing to the band. They know what we like, they know what we listen to. We show up there, and it's two walls, one wall, one wall. That's it. And it's just heat.
Heat.
Dude came out of the back looking like a butcher, wearing a denim apron.
He's got the
Yeah.
apron on.
Like, man, I'm just cleaning records, bro.
Should we start
Records
DJing in
playing
denim
records.
aprons?
No,
bad
I
idea.
know why he was in an apron, and I respect that. He's in there dealing with dirty records. By the
Yeah.
time we're DJ records are clean, or they should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
It was a cool look though.
It was a
I think
vibe.
all people who work in record stores should wear aprons now.
It's a good move. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Without getting into too much detail, this mystery place is a DJ's paradise.
Oh, 100%.
Wow.
It's a record store for DJs.
Yes.
They got the Function One mixer up there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They got some shit. They got some shit. But rewind the record, wheel up that. We went to NAMM. And the Wednesday night we were hanging out with MOS and Spider and Moonrock, right?
Yep.
Yep.
We
Moonrock.
met him as well.
Shout out Moonrock. That's my guy, man. Met him at South by Southwest. With him first there, and then
the next day, we go to NAMM.
Yeah.
Now it was our first time, all three of us going there. The podcast brought us there. So we were a NAMM guest because of the podcast, and
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. That sentence is so unreal. So anybody that's listened to this podcast or supported us in any capacity, showing up to an event, buying our hats or whatever, yo, thank you. That never in a million years would I thought this podcast would take us to like cool music conventions and things like that. So thank you so much.
It's not real life, you know, and for those of you that have been riding with us from the start, we have a couple really, really good loyal friends and fans and just DJs that are just like, yo, I just want to hear some shit talk, you know. Like we have our hats off to you for riding with us, and shit like that is definitely doesn't go unnoticed. It's helped get us to, you know, the table with a bunch of other legends. We spent NAMM interviewing the best DJs.
Definitely some of the best DJs in the country. It's unreal.
Yeah.
We were with Four Color Zach. We were with Five. We interviewed Mojax. We interviewed Z Trip. We interviewed Flostradamus. We interviewed a
lot of people. A lot of people that we couldn't even get to. Like there is people there that was just impossible to like get a hold of. There's a lot of fucking DJs.
Yeah. So Phenom, Miss Ninja, like there's so many, you know, so many dope people in one room. We got to meet Jason B from DMS, you know, we got to hang out with Warren. Like it's just a real treat. Cleveland Terry, we're gonna have Cleveland Terry on the episode. Like so much fun, so many laughs, and we got to see a lot of new gear too. You know, and shout out to Hercules. I think Hercules
might have stole the show.
Yeah.
Hercules might have stole the show.
That I forgot the name of the controller, but their new controller with the moving platters and stem control. Basically something that is, I don't know if it was intended to, but can compete with the Rev 7.
Yeah.
At at literally half the price, $700. That thing is pretty nice.
Yeah.
And the way it cuts costs is by being a belt-driven controller. Um, which there's a little latch you can take off to
Hmm.
remove the belt, replace the belt if you need to. Um, if you're into that customization thing, you can take off the top platter and just put a 45 there, and it's just a regular 40. You don't have to do the extra drilling like you would on the
Whoa,
rain
whoa, whoa!
controllers
Not
the new
hey, not
one.
too much, not too much on Hercules, man. They ain't paying us, bro.
True,
They're
true.
not
Yeah,
paying us. Not
it's
too
a nice
much on
controller.
Hercules. There we
It's a
go.
nice controller.
We saw the reloop box. There is a Serato box again back on the
Yes.
market. Um, we were it all comes full circle. And it's the funniest shit to talk about where it's like wouldn't it be great if there was a Serato box? Like this is the same thing that was said, in 2006, like when that came out, it was like, oh, we're debuting Serato. And then it goes to, wouldn't it be great if there was a 4-channel Serato box? And then the SL4 comes out. And then 10 years later, in 2023, we have the same conversation.
It's so
Wouldn't it be
funny.
great if there was a Serato box back on the market?
We need it,
We need it.
even though we don't, but we need it.
It goes back to our episode with Mojax where he goes, there needs to be a Serato box.
Yeah.
We need to just compile these clips of all of these moments where we talked about these things and then they happen. Here it is. Here's the date. Then it happened.
The Serato box is an interesting conversation because you don't need it till you need it. Like, and it's not often that you need it. But when you do, or when it would be helpful, like you show up to a gig and their mixer is like a dinosaur, and you're like, yo, who the hell has been playing here?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, if I had a Serato box, this would eliminate all these problems.
Yeah.
And behold, we got one.
It's essentially Frank Ocean.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Trav, the discontent on your face just saying that name. I love it. I love it because I knew for a sec I was like, I think Trav is going to ride hard for Frank Ocean. And then I saw some of the text and I was like, no, not even the contrarian. Not even Trav the contrarian rides.
Listen.
You can't, dude.
I am writing though.
No.
I am writing.
I saw your post. No, you're not.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm writing because, like I said, surprise, surprise. We're really not that surprised though. Like nobody's really that mad though. Like in the media, they're not really that up in arms. Like they killed Kanye. Like we see people kill Kanye. They're not killing Frank. Why? Frank is that artist. Like we're not surprised about this kind of artist. He is a recluse. So this is somewhat on brand. Somewhat.
I hear you.
Because
I hear what you're saying.
He still gave us Novocaine.
Yes.
He gave us Novocaine. He gave us Solo and sang it beautifully. The man has a beautiful voice and he gave that to us still. It just wasn't the performance that we wanted.
Yeah, I feel as like I'm kind of being a Frank Ocean stan is tough.
It's tough. It's
tough, man. It's like being in an abusive relationship and you keep making excuses for this person and you keep, oh no, but he does love me. He just
has a weird way of showing it.
He just has a weird way of showing it. And that's what I feel like we do for Frank. There was the Coachella performance was just a fucking mess.
It was a mess, but sorry,
because it was such a mess.
Hold on real quick. Sorry, because I'm going to forget to say this. It was very punk rock of him, though, right? It's kind of very punk rock. It's very like, I don't give a fuck. And that
it wasn't intentional, so I can't say it's punk rock.
I can't say it's punk. I don't want to. I don't want to.
You're right. Okay.
It wasn't intentional. And
somebody will make a think piece on that and be like, he planned it all from the start. But being in 3 rows back, I could see this was not planned and shit hit the fan. It was a Firefest moment.
I want to finish up our conversation about NAMM before we get too deep into your Coachella trip,
God damn, we gotta go back to NAMM. Okay.
because these are two separate events that need coverage,
Yeah.
and we have to do them in chronological order.
Okay, fair.
But Frank Ocean's Coachella performance is a conversation that we have to have.
Yes.
Yes. Back to NAMM. We had such a dope time.
We did.
We went to Trav took us to the Soul Train party that night, which is with I'm blanking on names.
Volatile.
Yes,
DJ Volatile.
DJ Volatile
from the UK.
Yes. We met him. Awesome fucking party.
Great party.
At this restaurant that was just like super cool. Escala is the name.
Yeah,
of
Escala.
it. Yeah.
Escala, yeah. It was like a Korean Mexican fusion.
Korean Mexican fusion. Very pro DJ there.
Yeah.
Everything was music on the wall.
Cool DJ booth.
Yeah.
Cool, right in the middle of the room.
Gramophones everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. Smoothies. We drank smoothies and hung out. And
yeah.
Travis got a water smoothie.
I got a water smoothie, man. I just didn't want to deal with the milk. I didn't want to deal with the milk, man. That's just
I don't know why they offered that. That was funny.
Yeah.
Coffee or milk? It's a smoothie. I don't want water.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it was a coffee or milk. It was water or milk.
Yeah. That
was very funny.
That was fun. And
that was a good party.
We met Don Perignon, who's going to be on the podcast as well. A lot of people who we're going to be having on the show.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't meet anyone that wasn't fucking awesome.
No,
I didn't meet anyone
cool.
where I was like, oh, this person's fucking asshole. Or this person's not, like, whatever.
No,
that's a funny statement, because if we did, we wouldn't mention
it. Right. But I can't even think of one.
I can't think of one.
I can't think of one to be like.
If anyone was the asshole that weekend, it was me.
You.
Why? Tell them why. Yeah. Tell them why. Perfect segue, King. Let's go.
I had reached at a certain point my social battery. I didn't realize it was coming to an end. And I think I had finally turned into Jaden Smith in that movie.
Wait,
it's like, I want to go home.
Story, and I'll provide the music underneath.
Yeah. And I don't know what happened. I was tired from the drive. Got right in. It was tough. So first things first, the interviews, we're doing these man on the street style interviews. I can't concentrate. And I've been filming them while Colin does the interview, and this is working for me. I'm good with this position.
He has one move. He holds up the number one and then gives me the point.
Yeah.
And it's time to go. It's like Wayne's World, where he's like,
yeah. And I'm good with this. I got my little job. We got a routine going. Then Travis steps in. A little bit of a change, but I'm still good. And then we decide that it's my turn to get in front of the mic for Chris Villa and his interview. Chris Villa, a DJ we've had on the show, a man I've met. A man I've met in person.
Man
I've met 3 or 4 times in person now.
Has a movie on Amazon.
Yep.
Has a movie on. I met him many a times. And I don't know what happened, but I was just really nervous to be in front of a camera interviewing somebody in this capacity. I've never done this. And I mispronounced Chris Villa's name as Chris Villa in front of him, all his friends, and all my friends. And he reacts strongly. He's like, yo, like I had just offended him. He's like, yo, Chris Via. And then his buddies are like, Via, what are you doing? And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm having a tortilla moment. Like,
You're like, I'm Mexican.
I was like, dude, I'm
Geek
Mexican, but
Lopez, you're having a moment.
I've been a victim of over pronunciating names
Oh.
that they're like, no, it's just English phonetical. You don't have to like, it's not Spanish. And I'm like, oh, I don't know why I made this assumption. He's clearly a Villa and not a Villa. And then that's when the ball starts rolling. Social battery cut in half. And I'm like, fuck this place. We got to get out of here. I'm tired of talking about it. We do another interview where I'm up to bat. And it's Sophinom, a friend of ours. We've hung out with Sophie a million times. We all talk to Sophie regularly since she's been on the show. She's a friend at this point. Go to give her an interview, and I'm like snarky. Like I'm trying to be funny, but it's just coming across as like snarky. Like, oh, you pick Steely Dan? Like I'm just such a jerk. And I'm trying to be funny, and it's just not coming across as funny. I watched the video, and it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be. It's just one time, and then after that moment, we moved, like it was past. But like afterwards, I was like, why was I so aggressive? What else? I don't even want to talk about that last one. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that one alone.
Run it.
No, I can't. Okay.
Run it.
Fuck. Okay.
Buckle up.
Ooh, buckle up. Jesus. I'm like turning inside out just thinking about the story still.
God.
So Jeff shows up. Jazzy Jeff shows up, and the world surrounds Jazzy Jeff. It's impossible to talk to him. In this crowd, I know a lot of Mac agency people are supposed to be there that night. Neva's supposed, not Neva. Mel Star's supposed to be there. And somebody goes, yo, that's Easy Mo B. He's talking to Easy Mo B. I didn't actually see Mo, and I met Mo, but like once. And I know he lives in Vegas, and I wouldn't be surprised that he was at NAMM. For those that don't know, Easy Mo B is like one of the most, as far as hip hop legacy goes, he's like really important producer because he's the only producer that's produced Pac and Biggie.
He's a goat.
Anyways, I don't know how this happened. Somebody points to another person at some point and says, that's Easy Mo B. And this person is not Easy Mo B. And Travis is away. And Travis was there for the moment that Easy Mo B got pointed out. But Travis is away doing something else, talking to someone else. And it's just me and Colin. He's like, hey, is that Easy Mo B? And I'm like, sure, must be. He's like, we should interview him.
I didn't say, is that Easy Mo B?
I don't think you asked, but you're like,
no.
Did I say it was Easy Mo B?
I thought you did.
Okay.
Because I was like,
you know what? You're right. I said,
like,
you're like, I think that's Mo, because somebody pointed to that guy and said that was Mo. And you were like, we should interview him.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, let me go talk to him. So just to confirm, because I'm still feeling unsure, because this guy looks too young to be Mo, just being frank. And I go, yo, Mo. And he looks. So I'm like, there it is. And I introduced myself. And I'm like, yo, my name's Neek. I'm with Mac Agency back in Las Vegas. And he's like, Mac Agency? I was like, yeah, Eddie Mac's label, agency. And I'm part of a podcast called the 5 and 5 Podcast. We're doing very short interviews. Would you be down to do one? And he's like, yeah. And he's very confused, but he's agreeing to everything. And he answered to Mo. So I'm like, maybe he just has no idea who I am, doesn't remember me at all. And he's not wearing his lanyard. So I can't see his name. And I noticed that it's like on his waist. It's like hanging off his pants. So I'm like trying to look. Travis finally comes over and I was like, hey, we're interviewing. I set Travis up. I go, hey, we're interviewing Easy Mo B. And he's like, cool. Takes the mic or the phone. And I see this guy's name is something else on his lanyard. And I say to Colin as I'm holding the camera about to hit record, I go, I don't
It's
think
not
that's
Mo.
Mo.
It's not Mo.
I don't think that's Mo.
And I'm like, tell
He goes, you got to
Travis.
tell him. I go, it's too late. They're already like standing next to each other, mic in hand. Like, what do I? Hey, that's not him. Travis introduces him as Easy Mo B, and the guy goes, "Whoa!"
I walked off. I couldn't stand the watch. It was so cringe.
Colin abandoned ship.
I
Colin
turned my back on the
completely abandoned
interview.
ship.
He sure did.
I've turned my back on the interview because I was crawling in my own skin, watching, knowing a car crash was about to happen.
And I just got with it immediately, and I just walked right up to him and I was like, "I'm so sorry. Somebody pointed at you in a crowd of people, and I thought they said you were Easy Mo B. I'm so sorry." And he was super cool about it. Still do the interview. Still turned out to be a really cool dude. But oh my God, peak embarrassment for me.
Mo, if you're listening, we would love to have you on the podcast.
Hey, GP, if you're listening,
we also will have you on the podcast. Thank you for being a good sport and being cool. Mo, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on. Would love to.
It wasn't a bad car crash, though.
It wasn't a bad car crash. You honestly handled that so well, and it just worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got through that.
Jesus Christ, I was peak embarrassed of that. And after that, and then we had to keep going. Like, we have more interviews to get. We have more show to do, and I just I need a break.
I turned into fucking the Mandalorian. Neek was like Baby Yoda. I'm like,
yo, I just needed a break. And when we found those rocking chairs on the patio by ourselves, I couldn't have been happier. And I remember being like, hey guys, because at that point I had already vocalized, like, guys, I want to leave. I'm done. Like, I don't want to stay here anymore. And when I sat down, I remember saying, hey guys, we don't gotta leave. I was just grumpy. We don't gotta leave. I was just upset.
Just a wild turn of events. And we made it out alive.
We made it out alive.
We did.
Barely, too, because we had to leave so early in the morning.
Yeah, that's my bad.
So we left Friday morning. No, it's not your bad. I had a double. We had to leave early.
We all had to play that night.
We had to leave. Right? Yeah, you had to play. Yeah. I had to play. Colin, did you play on Friday?
I had to go to Coachella.
Oh, you had to go to Coachella.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So you slept, and then So
we had we had to leave early, and it just sucked. So we get out of the hotel at 5 a.m. to drop you off at LAX, and then we can start driving back to Vegas. Because
wait. Before we say this, just to put the last feather in the cap of NAMM.
True.
For anyone that thinks we got too big or blew up too much for the podcast, we're holding it true by fucking up these interviews royally on site.
Oh, dude. Yes.
We're doing our job to give you the content you want by just absolutely ruining these interviews.
I mean,
oh, dude, yeah. Don't think we're out here polished and fucking
not
shit ain't sweet out here. We're just
we probably have an episode's worth of bloopers from those interviews.
It's still seat in the pants interviews.
Yeah, 100%. We're still just three shitheads out here trying.
That's it.
We're just a couple of guys trying.
They didn't switch up. There's just still commit to the bit. That's what we do.
We're truly committed to the bit.
Yeah, we drove out. We showed up. We got a bunch of love, and we barely made it out alive.
Yeah, for sure.
We're out here royally fucking up these interviews. That's so funny.
We are, because we're using two phones for this interview, y'all.
Dog, it was
a microphone problem.
We had a microphone issue. We spent the bread and got a fucking proper Bluetooth microphone that just
didn't work.
They sent us the wrong one, and it didn't work when we tried.
I cannot wait to send that back tomorrow. I can't.
Oh my goodness! They sent us the wrong shit, and we tried to make it work, and it just wouldn't. So we just have two iPhones. You're gonna see us using an iPhone. It sounds great, by the way, you guys. The audio does sound good. I've been editing the videos and slicing these clips together, so it sounds good.
Barely made it out.
Barely made it out. In a room full of professionals. That's the thing that's hard. That's the thing that I think was difficult, but also made it very funny. Is it's like we're not just talking. It's not doing a gig. where people
Right.
don't know anything about audio or music or
Right.
anything. We're stepping into a room full of professional DJs who've been professional DJs for a long time. They know everything about it, everything.
Mhm.
And we're people are like, yo, you guys should like we're doing these interviews and people are like, you guys should rock with this gear and this gear and this gear. We're like, dude, we have 2 iPhones.
Yeah, here it
Best I
is.
can do
Like,
is 2 iPhones.
we had a plan. We came in with a plan, and shit
But
went
it's
sideways.
hilarious. I think that is the 5-on-5 way, and I wouldn't have it.
It is.
I would not have it any other way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we made it.
Oh,
We made it out, and we'll see you next year, Nam, for sure.
we'll see you next year.
I
Maybe we'll
mean,
have a
will
mic.
we?
If we get invited back, yeah.
If we get invited back, yeah. And this time we
What,
can make
Trav, you don't want to go? You didn't have fun?
we'll make a stronger effort to see Stevie Wonder this time for sure.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Because he was there.
Yeah, he was.
We showed up at doors because we heard rumors that Stevie Wonder was going to be there. And we admittedly we didn't look very hard, but
No.
he ended up being there. And
The next day though, right?
no, it was that day. We just found out the next day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was it? Yeah, he was. Now I don't know.
It was the
Now
next
I don't
day.
don't quote
It
me.
was the next day, right?
Okay.
It was the next day.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
he
that's fine.
wasn't
Never mind.
there.
We
It was the
didn't
next
stand a
day.
chance.
Yeah, we did it.
No, but we had a blast. I had such a good time with you guys. It was
Yeah.
so fun for us to go out and do the thing as the podcast.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time we're really getting recognized as the podcast. We had those 2 weeks. There was that conference in Vegas that was podcast stuff. But this is really the Super Bowl of being like, okay, cool. You're a DJ, you do a podcast, you do this, you do that. Everyone was there.
Being at a convention for DJing is so interesting. This is my first we did that last convention. That was more like lighting and sound.
Yeah.
But being at NAMM with an area it's a full musicians gear showcase, but a room full of specific DJ shit is very cool. I used to go to Magic back in the day, the fashion convention, and to go to this. It's fucking cool. NAMM was great. Thank you everybody for having us.
Yeah.
Direct Music Service, Warren.
Thank you, Warren.
Everybody. Thank you guys
Yeah.
so much for putting us on. That shit was a blast.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
had a good fucking time.
The drive home was brutal. What should have taken 4 took 5 hours because this is the first weekend I've ever had a Celsius, by the way. No weird product placement. First time I had one, I felt like I got a full 8 hours of sleep. I don't think any energy drink has ever done that to me.
No.
But after that, I was chasing the dragon. I never got that feeling again. So on the way home, I probably had 1.5 Celsius, and I still on the last hour had to pull over and just take a nap or at least try. But I was 2 Celsius up to take a nap, but I was still tired. So I just kind of sat there for 15, 20 minutes, knocked out another 45 minutes before finally handing the wheel over to Colin and was like, you got to finish. You got to finish this lap, man.
I slept the first half, which was great because I knew I had to make that return to the desert hours later.
Oh yeah.
It was brutal, dude.
It was just glaring me in the face. And I was telling people, I'm like, I'm going to come back tomorrow for Coachella. And they're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. That's not really? And I was like, yeah.
So I just have the most brutal fucking Friday. Go home.
You had a double.
I had a double. Knock out a quick 3-hour nap. Go to work at 5 to 9. Get done. Shoot downtown for fucking We All Scream. Knock that out. And then I sleep until I am reborn. You slept the entirety of the day because you had to wake up and drive back to Coachella.
I knew what was on the horizon. I took a 10-hour snooze and then freshened up. And then at 8 a.m., we hit the road again with the biggest Dutch Brothers coffee you've ever seen. big, and we made it
This
out
is
to
the
the
story
desert.
I want to hear. This is the story I want to hear.
We made it out to the desert. Um, we get to the campgrounds or to the festival grounds, and I'm getting my pass. Somebody goes, Phenom. And I turn around, it's Ruckus, DJ Ruckus. So he was playing that weekend. So caught up with him real quick, briefly. Go to the festival the first day. Um, first stop, right when we get in, is Despacio. For those that don't know, Despacio is Too Many DJs and James Murphy from LCD Sound System playing records on a custom built Mackie system, 360 system, all vinyl, 6 hours a day, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's nirvana for DJs. It's absolutely paradise for DJs. After that, we bounced around and saw a couple acts throughout the day. Saw the Breeders, saw Linda Linda's. Um, Kevin Scott was basically my tour guide for the whole trip. Shout out to Kevin.
Shout out.
And his wife Joy. Kevin's been to like a decade of Coachellas. So
Damn.
and the DJ AM documentary is almost, the bonus features are almost out in its entirety. So in May, Kevin's going to lock in a podcast date with us to talk all things blog, the DJ AM era, his residency at LAX. Kevin told me just so many fucking cool stories of just all the shit that we want to hear, and my jaw was just on the ground. So first day ended with Calvin Harris. Went to go find my car where I parked it. We walked the parking lot for 45 minutes until I used Siri to find my car, which is game changer. That's a pro Neek move.
Another one, along with Shazam, and this is where I parked my car.
Yep. So I used that. Got the car and got out of Dodge. We stayed in San Bernardino both nights because, for those that don't know, Coachella is like $500 for a Motel 6 for a real rat trap hotel, because they can get those prices. They can charge through the roof for a 1-star hotel, and people will pay it. So we stayed in San Bernardino for a total of $230 for 2 nights. So we'll take that all day. After that, the next day was same thing again. You know, after the first day of 25,000 steps, our feet were tired. We're kind of pooped, whatever. Coachella is just like the worst of the worst people. It's just influencer, take my picture, take my video. I'm smiling on video, and once it's done, I stop smiling. Back to a scowl kind of crowd. And you know, it's just like I know now how Firefest had to have been, getting all of these influencers in one area and just being like, oh, so fucking cringe. So we did that. Honestly, I hung out in Despacio most of the trip, and then saw Too Many DJs, who was the best set of the weekend. Saw Chromeo the day before. They brought out LaRue to do Into the Kill.
LaRue looks so cool.
LaRue looks so cool. Like the coolest. LaRue did Into the Kill a cappella.
Acapella,
Every note was
man.
perfect.
It just came out looking like a badass.
Yeah.
Just a badass, man.
Like a real, like, look like Akira. Like,
yeah.
Like something, you know, like,
yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, you're the coolest.
Yeah.
LaRue's the coolest. She has a new track with Chromeo coming out, which is fucking awesome. They performed it right after. Who else? Oh, so Kevin gave me some inside scoop. Apparently, Weeknd was going to come out with Blink 182 because he's a fan of Adam's song from Blink.
Oh.
But Metro Boomin was like, no fucking way. Like, this is my surprise guest. Like,
yeah.
So Weeknd came out with Metro Boomin. Maybe second week. Now that they're headlining.
Okay.
I get it.
No,
I
no,
get
no.
it. I totally
I know.
get it.
I did too.
So Kevin also told me they choose the Sahara stage, which is a little bit smaller because that was the last stage that Travis and AM played on last time they played Coachella. They completely overpacked it. It was so packed. Everyone wants to see Blink 182.
Yeah.
Their I think it was their first show back as the original lineup. I believe it was the first one back. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Was there another one?
I don't. Travis is like the second drummer, so original lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The lineup with Tom and yeah.
Did you see Calvin?
I saw Calvin. I stayed for 2 songs for Calvin.
Calvin
Couldn't
dropped.
be more packed.
Did you watch the Calvin set, Trav?
I watched the Calvin set, man, and he dropped a takeoff verse off a slide. So if everybody knows, Slide is featuring Frank Ocean, Quavo, and Offset.
Yeah.
And he added a
Takeoff is
takeoff
not
verse.
on that. Yeah. And he
That's sick.
added a takeoff verse at the very end of Slide. And
Took off takeoff, brought it back.
took off takeoff, man. And he brought it right back. It was amazing.
R.I.P.
Mm.
I love Calvin Harris DJ sets now.
His set was great.
I used to not care for them back when I worked at Win, just
Mhm.
because Las Vegas nightclub DJ sets were just kind of the same old shit
Okay, so let me ask you this though.
at the time, anyways.
Yeah, how is his nightclub set different from a
Festival set.
festival set?
Well, here's the thing. And then when I started working at Omnia, and they ended up getting a residency with Calvin, and for a while his sets were kind of the same old shit. Like
Mhm.
it's just the hits,
Mhm.
Beatport top songs, his top songs,
Mhm.
whatever album he has out. And it's just, but then there was, I don't remember what it was, but everybody was like, he's got some festival coming up in Ibiza. So he's doing these really long sets, and he's basically playing up until close. Like he's playing until 4:30 in the morning. So he was playing these super long sets and just getting deep in these fucking techno house crates, like just getting deep. And so that's when I started liking Calvin Harris sets again. And now if Calvin Harris is playing at a festival or something and I'm there, I'm going.
Yeah.
Like usually those huge names I skip just because you see it all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm going. And so I didn't get to watch any of the streams just because I was working all weekend, but I would have loved to watch that Calvin set. So it's cool to hear that it was dope.
I was working that night and I pressed pause before I left. Pressed pause on YouTube before I left for my set. Came back, it was already paused.
That's fire.
Got
See, I wish I
comfortable.
did that for too many DJs because I
Nice.
didn't get to see it.
So good.
Yeah, a lot of these are just like, hope you catch it. If not, it's gone forever, right?
Yeah.
Is that the case? Somebody's got to be recording these.
Somebody's recording them, but it's like, what? It's that crazy contract that Coachella has, right? Because Beyonce came out with
festival. it. Lala's the same too.
Yeah.
It's like you can't It's I don't know. It's unfortunate, really, because there's all these moments in time that it's like, well, hope you caught it.
Yeah, because that Too Many DJ set was stupid, man. It was so good.
Perfect. And they're back
Every time I watch them, it makes me reconsider everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
From the first time I saw them my junior year, or heard them rather, to now, like every time I see them, I'm like, man, I gotta change something.
Yeah.
Like I gotta do more than what I'm doing because they're just the coolest.
And they're playing on CDs.
On CDs.
With the videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, it's so, they're so cool.
I caught Kenny Beats set. I liked it.
Any special guests?
No special guests. Just him up there. Boiler Room style. I like that.
Wait, I need to add one more thing about Too Many DJs. So after we saw them, the Despacio tent was right behind them.
Oh, yeah,
By the time Too Many DJs finished and we went around the corner, like 5 minutes, 5-minute walk, they were already back on stage DJing at Despacio. Straight off the stage at Coachella, right back on to go DJ at Despacio. I thought that was
So
just the
sick.
coolest shit. Like, there's nothing cooler, you know? Like, they're like, we got a job to do. This is our last day. We love this fucking music. Here we are.
No breaks.
No breaks. Like, ripping it at Coachella for thousands of people, and then right back to work in Despacio.
Yeah.
They ended with Beatles' Here Comes the Sun inside Despacio. That was the last song of the weekend. They're just the coolest. There's no one cooler than too many DJs.
Nah, no way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're just so chill up there. And they're just so chill.
I would have paid GA to just be at Despacio the whole weekend. And Eddie Mack said that to me. He goes, you know, if I bought a ticket, I would have just bought the ticket just to stay in here. And I was like, absolutely. You know, so if you get to see them, go check them out. I think they played a free show in San Francisco.
Are they doing weekend too?
They're doing weekend too.
Go ahead and hit that reminder, hit that notification.
Yeah.
Good call.
I mean, it's so early too. They're playing like 5 p.m. Like, make it a priority.
Yeah.
Like, go see them. Even if you don't know any of the songs, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And they played mostly their own remixes, so nothing cooler than that.
Yeah.
Outside of that, though,
I caught Elderbrook's set. And he was having some technical difficulties on his set, which was unfortunate. Eric Prides caught his hologram set.
how was it?
Did you see that?
Oh, Prids. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Prids? No.
Stupid.
Really cool?
Stupid cool.
That's sick.
Yeah.
It was just really cool. And then who else did I catch?
Should we talk about Frank?
Let's talk about
I mean,
Frank
we'll
now.
talk about it brief because there's
Let's
nothing.
talk about Frank.
There's so many twists and turns, of course.
Colin,
I'm just gonna say this.
Let talk about it from your perspective first.
Yes, because you had the artist guest pass.
Yeah.
You were backstage basically
Right.
in where y'all were watching.
Yeah.
It
So
couldn't have
talk
been more
about
packed.
when you stepped foot right when you got there, because
Okay.
you were coming from Despacio, correct?
So we left Espacio at 9, and Frank was supposed to be on at 10:05. So we like chilled, blah blah blah, and then 10:05 comes around, and they're still calibrating the screen, like the video screens. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how long this takes. So I kind of have reception. I'm like texting back and forth with you guys when I get a little break in reception. And the artist guest area couldn't have been more packed. You couldn't even move your body to the left or right because there's so many people. And we waited about an hour, and I can tell that they're like changing the stage around, like some of the ideas and the layout on the stage. And then at like almost about an hour late, he came on. As someone that was standing there, I wish I had that time back to go see anyone. Literally anyone.
Fuck.
Boris Brejcha played on another stage, and he's like super cool too.
Yeah.
I wish I could have seen him, but it was like being on a packed elevator at capacity, and you're just facing forward, and you can't even turn your shoulders. And we're just waiting for you know, we were there like early too, so 9:30. It was about an hour and a half in that, and it was just so uncomfortable. And it's like, if you were claustrophobic or had anxiety about being in big crowds, you would definitely be out of there. And people were like passing out too. Like, people were shining their flashlights, being like, medic, like, come grab these people. Like, it was just so overcrowded. So from that perspective, as someone that didn't pay for their ticket, I was bummed. And if you did pay for your ticket, I could completely understand being like, this sucks. As take out of the equation that it's Frank Ocean. It
Yeah.
could be fucking anyone. If you haven't seen them ever, and this was your moment to enjoy your favorite artist, or whatever, even an artist you really love, it's a bummer.
It's a
It's a
drag.
bummer it's not on time. It's a bummer it's like, like, I don't know. I think that any artist, the fans at least deserve for you to be somewhat on time.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree with that. I saw Lauren Hill back in the day. She was like an hour and a half late, and her audience is mostly older people, like our age and up, and so it's like people like I feel bad for the people that like take time out of their lives. They got families, they got fucking kids. You know what I mean? You get a sitter, you get time off of your work. You don't have the Vegas hookup to get the artist pass or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you saved up all your money to go to Coachella, working on you plan this trip. And Coachella is easily one of those festivals where you can decide you're going to Coachella just to see Frank Ocean, and
Oh yeah,
everybody else
100%,
isn't really your thing.
100%.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that could easily happen at a festival like Coachella that has such a wide net. So like I know for me, like there's maybe only 5 people I really care to see. Um, so if somebody pays good money, gets out there, and that's what they get, that's so upsetting. That's such a drag. That's such a like. And then you find out, like you hear all the rumors. The rumors is what was really getting me. Like the first rumor I heard was Frank Ocean got stung by a bee, and I was like, that's ridiculous. I was like, is he allergic? Like, why is this such a big
Mm.
deal? And then you find out Frank Ocean just wanted to like completely redo the set last minute. And then after the show, you find out that there was this ice rink that he had to get melted down that he didn't want to do. And the people that were walking in circles and ski masks were actually hockey players that had been practicing for months on this specific thing, but they canceled it. So production and AV were pretty upset because they spent hours building this set that they had to tear right back down. So I feel bad for them, but ultimately they got paid. And then somewhere you hear that he rolled his ankle,
Mm.
but he was walking around and flexing and
Dancing.
dancing and
Yeah.
didn't seem
With the ox.
with the ox. Like, yeah, when that whole moment happened when he was just playing his songs and flexing his grill and all that shit. And I'm like, it doesn't look that hurt to me. But now his ankle's so messed up that he can't do weekend two.
I don't think there's anything cool about shitting on your fans.
I don't think it's cool, dude. I think that is such a shitty thing to do. And I think it sucks. And again, it's that abusive relationship shit where we're like, well, he did do this.
Mm.
He did perform 2 songs. And it's
At least
like,
he showed up. Like the
at
bar
least
is
he
so
showed.
fucking low.
Yeah, like
And
we'll
I'm
take
like
anything
watching.
at this
I'm
point.
like, I don't think he's gonna show up. Like while we're waiting, I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen.
While you were there giving us the live update, I was at Best Friend, and
Yeah.
the server is going to Coachella weekend too. And he's like, what's going on with Frank? Like, he's like, I saw that he's not performing, he's not streaming. So I was like, my buddy's there, he's giving me live updates. So he keeps coming up to the DJ booth to get updates.
That's the
And
thing. That's the genesis of it all. People waited 3 years for this shit.
Yeah. So I was sitting at home tuned into people's live streaming TikTok.
Mhm.
So I
that's right.
saw
You
what you
sent me the
saw.
TikTok link.
Yeah, I was going through a couple people's TikToks, making sure I got the a stable stream, and yeah, it was just wild, man. It was wild.
People were leaving though. You could
Yeah,
see that
no, I
people were
saw
leaving.
people. I watched
Yeah.
people leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of for a Frank Ocean show, for any headliner, really,
Yeah,
to
for
be
any
like,
headliner. Yeah.
Ugh, this is
And then
not
it
it.
ended abruptly, and then I don't know if you guys saw this, but I saw somebody backstage filming Frank as he was walking off stage. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. That's crazy.
He was walking off stage, and he's like, it's like, bro, it's kind of short, bro. And he laughs, and then the clip
Well,
ends.
we knew about the curfew because Colin told us about the curfew.
Yeah, and Kevin Scott told me, he's like, hey, doesn't matter what, there's a hard cut, and it's because of the neighborhood. The
But
neighborhood's like, yo, fuck.
Calvin started at 12:30. I mean 11:30.
Was it 11:30 that he started? Oh yeah, because he played till 10:30.
Friday and Saturdays 1 a.m. Sunday's midnight. So
Copy.
it's like club rules, and then midnight hard cut.
Gotcha.
And he played a half hour past.
So Coachella did get fined $117,000 for the entirety of the weekend for going over every day. Every day.
Oh, okay. So they take that fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. $117 is hot dog sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
flagrant too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just think that, I don't know, if you go on an hour late, you're like, I don't really give a fuck.
To go on an hour late is one thing. I will say this: Lauryn Hill, she showed up an hour late, but she did her set.
Sure.
Fair.
She played her set, and it sucks that she was so late and didn't give a fuck and expects us all to be okay with that. But whatever.
Same thing for Frank though.
But Frank shows up an hour late, expects us all to be cool with that, and then doesn't play his set.
He did play his set.
Not the set that was planned.
But he did play a set.
He played a set.
Yeah.
Not his set.
Not his set. Like he didn't do the show.
You could tell in the crowd that things weren't going to how he expected.
Oh yeah. So okay, talk about all that dead air when that was happening.
That's what I'm referring to. Yeah.
I mean, we left 3 songs in. So we watched 3 songs. First song was Novocaine.
Right.
He came in early on the song, and then the band was like,
they switched it up.
And then he stopped, and then he came in again. And he said, "I think a silent song," and then he came back in and repeated it.
Yeah.
Off to a weird start. He made it through that okay. It sounded good. Novocaine was interesting. It was almost
like a faster version.
It's like Take On Me from Aha, or As It Was from Harry Styles, or honestly Kid Leroy. That song, I'll Be Fucked. That song.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell he was inspired by that, and he's like, I need to hit him with high energy out of the game. Second song was New Song.
New Song, yeah.
And like the mics were too close, and it was like you could hear like the breathing and everything like that, and it was starting to like, but there was a big wait between Novocaine and the second song,
right?
And I said out loud, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
because like no one, it was longer than what you would regularly do to be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And he didn't say anything to the crowd to be like, we're gonna switch things up. Hold on. It was just silence.
So and then the way he left was so fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting told it's curfew, so that's my set, and then that's it.
He said that off stage too, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think
he just said that's it. He said that's my set, and then just left. No goodbye, no thank you, no apology, no nothing. Just literally, that's it. Bye.
I guarantee you, Golden Voice was just so cringed out by the whole thing. They had the ick about the whole thing. Because it's like, you put that next to Beyonce. You put that next to Beyonce.
Right.
It's so funny. Somebody just said that. They're like, it's no Beyonce. And I was like, I hate to make comparisons.
Sure.
I hate making
it's
comparisons.
Almost as if that's what we do on this podcast.
Yeah. I hate to make comparisons like that because it's like, it's music, it's art, it's not a competition.
Right. Yeah.
But like, showing up late is one thing, and then just abandoning your set and just being like, all right, we're just gonna freestyle it is like, That's a wild, shitty thing to do live on stage in front of thousands of people who traveled across the country and
Yeah.
possibly the world to come see you. Like,
And,
stick
like-
to your guns. You've been doing this set for months. Just do the set.
The
I don't think he
DJ
has, though.
set
That's
in
the thing.
between. The
That's
DJ
the thing. I don't think
set,
he has
like-
been doing this set.
Well, the only reason I say they had to have a set because the performers, the ice rink people, they had cues and they had choreography and they had something.
They had it.
So
I don't
it
think
leads
he
me to
had
believe that
any
like
clue.
musically they had a part for that.
What do you mean you don't think he had a clue? He's the one that directed the whole layout.
I don't think he had a clue about what he wanted to do after that.
I wonder why
Like when he was on
because-
stage.
So there were screenshots that came out of the makeup of the ice skaters. It was like them, and they're like Frank hated the makeup, so he said take it off. And now we have to like wear the ski masks, which also the only other upside to that is they all got like custom Prada.
Oh.
They all got free custom Prada products.
It was so funny because the intro just looked like the Donda listening
Yeah.
party.
Which we all know didn't go well. Like
This
We
one
all have
about the same.
PTSD
This one
from-
about the same as that.
we have PTSD from seeing too many people in ski masks at a performance.
Was this
Not
a
a good
Donda
sign.
cosplay?
It might have
Was
been.
this just a Donda cosplay performance?
Might
You
have
guys remember
been.
Donda too?
Because it did
Running it
kind of,
back.
honestly,
Was he-
it did kind of remind me of when I saw the Yeezus tour in Seattle, because it was the first show.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of hiccups in the first show. And
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of that.
How mad are you if you're hearing your favorite Frank Ocean songs in a DJ set portion of the show?
It was so confusing the
Like,
way it
just-
started too.
Weird versions of it. Yeah.
I was like, and what? So somebody, who was it? Howie said it was unique. Was that really unique playing?
No, I said it was unique. It looked like
Oh.
unique. It was Crystal Mess. DJ
Okay.
Crystal Mess.
I mean, the only upside to that, like some of them were cool, I guess. Like, it's just not what I want to see when I go see Frank Ocean. And they were playing on the Virgil Nexus 2 setup.
Mhm.
Sick. That
Cool.
part's Sick. Yeah.
So, which leads
Yeah.
me to believe that that was a part of the show the whole time,
Of course.
because that being there that's like bringing an art piece. That was intentional. Weird move.
It's that meme where it's like, I hope you're hungry for absolutely nothing. Reveal the platter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's I hope that, I mean, people spent a lot of money on this shit. I
Yeah.
know they spent over $1,000 just going to GA, just existing for the weekend. If you're like, oh,
God, people slept outside, bro. People be
know.
sleeping in their cars at Coachella, not showering and shit.
Yeah.
People stayed at that stage all day for that.
Those are the people I feel bad for. And I forgot. I cannot believe we didn't mention that. The people who go up
Ride
front.
the
Colin's
rail.
been one of those people before,
Ride
where
the
you
rail.
go to the festival bright and early,
Uh-huh.
and you fucking stay at that fucking place for 12 hours
Yep.
because you're here to see Frank Ocean front row.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. Yo, I wouldn't listen to any Frank ever again. I don't care how good it is.
It's just crazy.
I would take me out. I wouldn't give
And-
a fuck how good his music is. I'm done. Fuck that guy. I'm glad I wasn't there. I'm not
I just
taking
don't
as
think
strong
the
as a stance
respect
because
is
it's
there.
funny to watch it on TikTok, but I feel bad.
I just don't think the respect is there. I think it's like, fuck 'em.
Somebody said Frank Ocean does not love his fans, and I was like, Frank Ocean doesn't give a fuck about us.
He just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He just doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a shit. And I remember when Steve Lacy was doing his most recent tour, we were all laughing like, this guy's so fucking mean. But I don't think he's mean and doesn't give a shit about his fans in the way that's like Frank Ocean. I think it's like, y'all are ridiculous. You only know my song because of TikTok.
Mhm.
But he
Now
still
is
does
the
the
perfect-
set.
Now is the perfect time for Steve Lacy to slide right in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucked up timing because Steve just dropped an album, did great, and
Right.
now he's kind of like probably working on some newer shit.
Yeah.
The dust is settling a little bit, probably for another album late this year, early next year. But
Listen, Frank announced a new album, and
kind of,
I'm getting it.
I'm gonna listen to
Yeah,
it.
he said, "I'm not saying there's a new album coming.
He said he's like, not that there's not an album coming, just not right now.
Not right now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
With something like, who knows what that means? I could mean at the end of the year.
That means the new album's coming. Neat.
It means I'm working on music. I don't have a date.
It means
if
Travis
you're
Jones
waiting,
is getting the new album.
If you're waiting,
I mean, I'm
for
gonna
the new
get
album,
it. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna get it.
If you're
I wasn't
waiting for the
there
new
to be
album,
disappointed.
You're gonna wait.
He didn't traumatize me.
Yeah,
traumatized
exactly.
someone.
Yeah, he traumatized me either.
I just feel bad for the people that were.
My ticket.
Exactly.
I didn't pay for my ticket. It'd be a different episode if I was on here being like.
It'd be a very different episode if
right.
we all didn't have the DJ connection to get there, get set up. If this was a podcast of 3 random dudes in Oklahoma who saved their money, we're going to fucking Coachella. We're going to see, and we sat there.
Why you give us that accent though?
I don't know. That's what Oklahoma people.
I don't like that accent.
We're going to Coachella, and we go to we're going to fucking Coachella. I made it sound like some hillbilly.
It's not about the accent. It's about Frank being late.
It's about Frank being late. You're missing the point. You're distracting me.
God damn it, Travis. It's about this piece of shit microphone that's going back tomorrow.
Yeah. Holy shit.
God damn it.
Holy shit.
Can't catch a break out here. I buy the microphone. I go to Frank Ocean. The fuck is
Chris
going
Villa.
on? Chris Villa.
Dude.
What
Easy Mo B.
Oh God.
To tell you guys, this was the most unreal 3-4 days of my life. It was just, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was just like, I came home on Monday or on Tuesday, and I go, what the fuck just happened? Like, between us going to NAMM, then going to Coachella, and then but I do want to give a special shout out. We have a special shout out to give. Shout out to Morse Code and Ivy.
Hey,
we got to hang out
out
with 2 of our favorite podcast guests.
Shout out.
Yes.
Got to hang out again with Ivy on Monday. Just the coolest. They're both
She
just
is the coolest.
Yeah. Shout out to them. And shout out to all the other DJ friends we met and saw this past weekend.
For sure.
It seems like things are going really well for the podcast.
It seems that way.
We'll say that out loud. It seems like things are going good. Good enough that A-Track will be joining us on Tuesday.
It's happening.
We've talked about it. We've gone back.
We've been saying he's on next week for 2 months.
Nobody believes
this
us.
is like that Jimmy Kimmel. Sorry, we ran out of time. Matt Damon. We'll see you next week. This is that skit. But A-Track.
I tried to pull off that skit a while ago with Jessica Who.
We got
a long time ago. It just didn't work.
We have to go to Miami. You have to do a poolside podcast if you want to get Jessica. Jessica has the coolest pool. Like I would
with
be
an
on
iguana
any
in
podcast.
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big fucking iguana in it. No, but A-Track hit me up today and said, "Hey, you want to do the podcast next week?" And I was like, "Hey, it's not up to me. You're A-Track. Like, we'll make room for you.
We'll figure it out.
We'll make room for you." So A-Track will be joining us next week. And also a special shout out to Louis LaRoche. A couple episodes went up over the past 2 weeks with him. We split that podcast up. 3 hours is a lot of information to dissect. If you haven't listened yet, go back and give that one a run. Louis cut his own clips with his own cutaways and everything and posted on his IG page.
Yeah, it's so sick.
Just the coolest dude.
Shout out to DJ Gray.
Shout out Gray.
Shout out to DJ Gray. Yeah.
Gray, the 4th member of this group, man.
Yeah, Gray is the wind beneath our wings.
He's
truly
making it happen.
He's our Bette Midler.
Yeah, he's making it fucking happen. We also have Arcade coming up on the show too.
We do.
I think we have a double podcast next weekend. We're gonna do A-Track one day and Arcade the next.
Crazy.
We'll see how
The
we'll
See
hell's
how
see.
the
going
boys
on?
hold up.
Yeah, man. Outside of that, though, Vegas is getting a baseball team. We should
Outside of
talk
that,
about
Vegas is getting a baseball team finally.
Yeah. So
Finally, that was well overdue. The Oakland A's are coming to Las Vegas. It was announced
right
today,
next
this
to where the
420.
Raiders are.
That might have been a trick on all the weed smokers today, though.
You think so?
It might
Happy
have been.
420.
Yeah.
Happy
But
420.
we've been
Happy
talking
Earth
about the
Day.
A's for a long time.
You guys have been, though. So
Like
it was
2
well
years of this
overdue. Oakland was
conversation,
not
yeah.
going to give them a new stadium. That was never going to happen. So, hey, welcome Las Vegas Athletics.
Am I getting rid of my
name,
Yankees
That
hat?
name's not going to
Crazy.
stay. That name is not going to
Las
stay.
Vegas
No, the
A's.
Athletics, the
Las
A's are,
Vegas
the
A's is gonna
Athletics are
stay.
staying.
That's
They're
gonna
not changing
stay.
the name. We're still going to be the Athletics.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna stay.
Yeah, because they're not. It's not a what do they call it when you get a new
It's
team?
not an expansion team,
not an
Expansion.
expansion.
and
team, yeah.
it's not under new ownership too.
Should they change the colors? Change it all up. Switch it all.
I mean,
up.
I would love that, but that's why I was
see
like,
that
I'm not
happening
trading my
either, though.
Yankee fitted. I ain't
Yeah,
buying no
I
A's
don't see
hat.
the
That's
new colors
crazy.
happening either. But the Washington Commanders, formerly the Washington football team, formerly the Washington Redskins, just got sold to Magic Johnson and his team. So we might see a new team name, definitely a new stadium coming through for that.
That's a different scenario because
That
they
is-
keep. That's a unique one.
Yes.
So I could see the Commanders is such a stupid name.
It is. They either need to go back to the Washington.
They look like an XFL team.
They do.
Washington football team.
I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Very on the nose.
The
Football guys.
the basketball, Las Vegas basketball team, NBA team, that some talks have fell through with the stadium with that.
That one feels so far fetched, and if it does happen, I think that will be an expansion team.
That will be an expansion team, and LeBron and his team is still in the running for the ownership of that team.
That's insane. Imagine
It's
LeBron.
just so much so quick out here.
It's a lot.
It's like cool. You guys got a hockey team. You guys got a football team. Here's a baseball stadium right next to the other two. And
Your
it's
WNBA team just won the championship.
They should have They should have put this stadium anywhere else except for where it's going.
Should put it in like Summerlin or something.
Yeah, because they're putting it like
disaster.
across from.
It's next to Fashion Show Mall.
Yeah, across
It's a
from the wing.
disaster. That whole freeway intersection, that block of freeway there, is just molasses.
Spring Mountain. Oh, really? Sahara to
Mhm.
Trop?
Mhm.
Fucked.
Nightmare.
Yeah,
And
You know,
F1. And we didn't even talk
F1.
about F1.
Yeah, not even
Yeah.
get to mention F1 because they
Las
changed
Vegas
it to
is a
one lane,
problem.
right? Didn't they change the
yeah.
strip to one lane already?
There's sections of the strip that are one lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the repaving, which they're gonna have to do again in a couple months. So
And yeah.
Las Vegas in its entirety needs to be repaved.
Well, that's what they're trying
Downtown-
to work on, right? Aren't they trying to do that with the Tropicana?
Oh my god, no! Well, Tropicana, like they're redoing the bridge, which I drove on Tropicana the other day, and I was like, "Damn, this is it!" Like, they're redoing that exit and making it. I think.
Oh, it's open now?
No, they have a. It's open to get across
Okay.
the freeway, and it's like, I don't know. It changes every day,
Mm-hmm.
but they're like closing sections and they're working on it by section. But the exit that from the freeway onto Tropicana going east is gone. That bridge is gone.
Colin, let me ask you this. You've been living in Vegas for now a month and a half? 2 months?
60 days today.
60 days today.
Happy
Perfect.
anniversary.
Perfect.
Thank
2
you,
months.
thank you. One balloon goes into the sky.
It's in the sky already. Ribbon in the
The number
sky.
6 on it. in
There
the
we go.
sky.
How many times have you been on the strip since you moved down there?
We were there yesterday. Nick and I had lunch on the strip yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So how many
Yeah.
times has that been though?
Not many.
Yeah, okay.
That was it. That was the first
If
one.
If I'm working or that was work related.
Yeah.
It was funny when he asked me. He had to add in, "I'm driving because I'm not fucking going."
It was smooth though. I know the Batman way now. I know.
Yeah,
how to
it
get
needed to
there.
happen because I needed to show him the Batman way. Because
Yeah,
he was like, I figured we'd take Las Vegas Boulevard. And I looked at him like he was high. I was like,
yeah.
No,
He's like
never.
420s tomorrow, Bruce.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Absolutely not taking Las Vegas Boulevard.
I only know how to take the worst way to wherever we're going. So, like, oh, you like this? Add an extra hour. And we'll get there. Yeah.
I got shit to do today.
No, it's fun though. This is today and yesterday were like the last cold days of until November. So we'll see. But as of right now, I mean, the city is pretty chill right now. I know when F1 comes, it's going to be impossible to go down there. They're just going to shut all of that down.
Yeah,
because of the track. But I don't know, man. It's going to be an absolute disaster for work, for anyone staying in hotels. It's not, the strip wasn't built with F1 in mind.
Not a chance, no.
Those cars didn't exist when the strip was built. So
it's going to be like New Year's Eve where you have to leave like 4 hours before work starts and you have to just hang out at the casino until you get there.
Yeah.
There's no parking at your job. That's the worst. Oh, I'm so glad I don't work on the strip anymore because that's going to suck. The worst is like New Year's Eve when everybody shows up to their shift 8 hours early and the parking garages are full. So it's like there's nowhere to. I spent 4 hours getting here. How the fuck? And there's nowhere to park your car.
It's fucking crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
The absolute best.
What else? What else do we need to discuss?
I feel like that's everything. I had an edible the other day for 420.
Okay.
I hosted trivia with Greg at Lucky Day, and he's like, so per tradition, we always the trivia before 420, we have an edible. I had an edible, and I got so stoned that I hugged the security guard on the way out.
Oh yeah, you did. Yes, I did see that tweet, Neek. That was an amazing tweet.
We got to talk about that.
That was an amazing tweet, Neek. Tell us about this.
I mean, that's basically it. I walked in on an empty stomach, and I don't know how many milligrams this little bitty gummy that Greg gives me. He's like, I'm eating half, and I was like, that's dumb. I'm not gonna eat this and not feel anything. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Down the hatch.
Yeah.
I know better than to not respect the edible, and I didn't respect the edible. And I go in there. 20 minutes later, dog, this shit's hitting me. And my job at trivia as the co-host, aside from banter on a microphone, is I control Spotify and I control the PowerPoint with all the questions and the volume of the music. I felt like I was controlling the Millennium Falcon. It was so hard. I was so high. I was the highest I had been since like the first time I got high at 15 years old. So I was like uncomfortable. Everybody wanted to talk to me. Everybody wanted to be funny. I couldn't be funny. I was on the mic, and everybody in the room knows I'm high because we announced, it's the one before 420. We're high. So we're eating Oreos, like we're stoned as shit. It says on the thing, trivia, the one where Neek and Greg got too stoned. And that's literally what happened. I did not think, and I basically ran out of there. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. See security guards, and it's all the security guards getting together before the night starts, and they all go to the venues. And so they're all on the side of Commonwealth and walking by. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Giving pounds. And I see one go like this, like open their arms. And I'm sure that was like for one of these, but I just saw open arms. So I was like, all right, I guess we're hugging. Bring it in. I hug. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, this is weird because I felt the hug that they gave me and it was an unexpected hug. And I was like, this is weird. Did not make eye contact. I just kept walking.
It's weird how you can feel the temperature of the hug.
You can feel it.
You know when a hug wasn't. You can feel when a hug was.
You kind of know when the hug wasn't supposed to be a hug. We all went on dates when we were younger, and maybe you gave a hug to someone, and it was just like, I didn't want a hug, or maybe you got a hug, and you're like, I didn't want to hug.
I don't hug,
But
but
you
we're
can
hugging.
feel it. You can and the shape of the body receiving the hug.
Very
definitely-
hollow, very C-shaped.
Yeah. It's basically like a skeleton.
Touching as
Pause.
little as possible
Yeah.
in the closest embrace you can give another human being.
Yeah. So he's
Fuck.
gotta see this person again.
Yeah,
this
I gotta see
weekend.
them tomorrow, Friday,
Yeah.
and Saturday.
My advice.
Yeah, this is what we were saying.
As
There's two
the
options
giver
here.
of the hug, as the giver of the hug, I suggested you go with it. You're
hug
just
now.
a hug guy now.
When we see each other, we hug.
You're the where's my hug? Where's my hug guy?
I was saying, I actually explained myself. I got too high. I saw your arms open. I thought you wanted a hug. I read that wrong. Colin says, stick to the bit
Stick to the
and
bit,
just
to the
give
bit.
hugs every time now.
I think you should double down and give every security guard a hug.
Yeah,
Oh my
see,
God.
if you
Which
stick
is
to
just
the
a
bit,
line
you
of
gotta give
hugs.
everybody else a hug.
I don't have that in me to give everyone a
Yeah,
hug.
because if you stick to the bit, then it's either you give everybody else a hug or it's just that dude that you're giving a hug to every single time.
And I'm wondering what the reaction to the hug
preferential
was after I
treatment.
left.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
I didn't want to stick around. I was like, we gotta walk.
What are you gonna do? Turn around and be like, hey, how about that hug, huh?
Hey,
It was a good hug, wasn't
proud
it?
of it.
Yeah. There's more.
Wait
where
for
that
the
came
review.
from. There's
Yeah, it's a
more where
good
that
hug.
came from.
There's more where that came from. See you Friday.
That was a good hug.
That was a good hug. It
Yeah.
wasn't a good hug. You could tell.
It's
like a-
Oh, did you get the pat on the back?
I got the pat on the back,
Oh,
but it wasn't like a.
no.
It was like a.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
fingertip.
They're Stony.
There, you weirdo.
They're there. I was discussing something bizarre last night. How strange would it be if you were sleeping with a bottle of water in your hand and just took a drink while you're asleep? If you're just like
Shut up.
completely asleep and you go, like, as the person seeing that, all right, because you're going to be asleep like this and you go, and then you're laying next to somebody and you see that, it'd be fucking horrifying, right?
Stupid bit.
I'm
So
just saying-
dumb.
I'm just saying. Well, because you're laying on your back and you would have to.
Was this on 90 Day Fiance?
No, this was real life last night. I was thinking about this before bed. If you saw someone do that, you
Like,
would be more
full
it would
REM,
scare the
REM
shit out of
cycle.
you.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
So stupid.
go ahead and watch
Go to
that
bed,
part.
clean it
Go
up,
ahead and watch
go to
that part on
bed.
YouTube. Watch that part on YouTube, and then weigh in the comments about. I don't give a fuck about your opinion about Frank Ocean or Nam or anything. You tell me you wouldn't be scared if somebody took a drink in the middle of the night, like the water's already open there. You just go petrified. Even more so if they slept with their eyes open.
Why is it so fast?
That's the scariest part. How quick it is the scariest part. Or you're just laying there and the person goes like this. They go. And they're asleep.
The way you're doing it, it looks like you're dead because your eyes are open.
If they slept with their eyes open, that'd be even scarier.
Oh my god, that's fucking funny. That's so dumb. That's a dumb bit. That's so stupid.
It's so stupid. It is 420. Today is 420, gentlemen. One song
It's 420. I'm
each.
high
One
as
song
shit
each.
right now.
One song each for the podcast playlist, but it has to be weed related. Let's do
Oh,
Um,
happy holidays, Travis.
okay.
Let me lead off. I'll say hits from the bong, Cypress Hill.
Okay. I will say hold on. Joe Cocker with a little help from my friends.
Oh, Joe Cocker. Joe Cocker. Joe
Sorry, Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker.
Joe Coker.
Joe Cochlea.
Joe Coglia.
Joseph Cochlea. That's your DJ name. What do you got, Nick?
Tower of Power, Slippery When Wet. Is that Tower of Power? Or is that Commodores?
Mm,
Oh no, no,
hold
no.
on.
What is hip? Sorry, Tower of Power. What is hip?
Okay. Boom.
That's my weed song.
Done and done.
Slippery When Wet is Commodores, but I was thinking, what is hip?
I love it. We will be back next week with the legendary Trizzy A-Track coming to you live from his record room. He's going to be talking vinyl.
Wait a
with
minute,
the
is he
boys.
debuting the record room with us?
The record room has been on a couple Instagram posts,
Okay.
so you can see it, but it hasn't been in full depth review yet.
And not in full depth podcasts.
Not a chance.
Either.
No.
Not a chance. So yeah, a debut.
This is
A
us.
world premiere.
This is us.
Premiere.
We're hymns.
Premiere.
Yeah,
We're hymns.
We are hymns. And then, like I said, keep tuned to our Instagram posts. We have a little NAMM recap as a little cherry, little icing on the cake for you, with interviews from Four Color Zach, Craze, Z Trip, Sophanam, Five,
Miss
Warren
Ninja.
Peace, Cleveland Terry, Miss Ninja, Jason B. Just the fucking internet.
Yeah.
Fucking internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that covers it for this week. This was only supposed to be an hour podcast. Here we are, hour 40. Gentlemen, can we wrap it?
We're rapping.
Wrap it up. All right. Until then, peace.